Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back, finally, yes, to my F1 2018 Career Mode, episode number 165 today for the USA Grand Prix in Season 8, and yeah, I know it's been a long while since the last one, so if you did miss that, by the way, then be sure to go check the one out at the Japanese Grand Prix. It's been a long time, obviously, other series have taken priority compared to this vanilla F1 2018 Career Mode, but we're back finally to try and see out the end of the season. Hopefully there'll at least be one episode per kind of week to end off the series here, and you can see going into USA, this is going to be an even trickier race maybe than we had at Japan, which ended up pretty damn well actually for us. You can see here now Mercedes have just about streaked out ahead, so on paper we are now the fourth best team on the grid. We used to be second, we were first at one point I think, or no, we were second for a long while because Renault actually stayed put at the top for a while, then Red Bull came in, put us down to third, and now on paper we're down to fourth place, so this is going to be a big damage limitation race because USA is already quite a difficult race to go to anyway. The AI are very consistent, very strong around here, especially in qualifying. You can see qualifying for me wasn't helped by the fact I got slowed up by Esteban Ocon here in the Ferrari car my first flying lap, so that was a delight there. So I had to probably go for a second run. Already I could tell this first run wasn't going to be the majority fastest one I could do fully with this car. So across the line, a little bit wide on the entry to the last corner as well, and so we set a time that's not as good as our teammate, and both me and Leclerc are quite some way off at the moment the fastest time there, so I think both of us have a lot of time to find. And so you can see here we go through that same section where we got held up by Esteban Ocon. You can see in the top right I've already gained an infinite amount of time there, a ridiculous amount of time really if you consider we're not even halfway through the lap now as we go down the back straight. And so through the last few corners, catching up to another slow car, but thankfully won't catch it actually in time for us to kind of really hold us up too much into the last turn. A little bit tighter than we were on the first run, still a bit of oversteer and understeer at the same time, but we get across the line up into P5. I was very happy with that as we slowed down, but obviously there was still people yet to set times, and so in the end we go back down to P9. Leclerc beats us to P8. We can see our times are very close together, so that is really where the Alfa Romeo racing car is now around USA. You can see how strong Red Bull are looking. Mercedes are right up there, and then a surprise shot for me of Ricciardo and Van Dorn as well. So our car has been going backwards as the season's gone because obviously we've hit our maximum on R&D, and so it is going to be a very tough Grand Prix. It's going to be a very tough last few races of this season to try and hold on to this championship lead, but you guys know me, I will continue to fight as hard as we can, and you make your own luck sometimes in Formula 1, and so we need to keep on putting ourselves in positions where we can be as consistent as possible, and that's what we've been doing for the last, numerous episodes of this series so far, being consistent. So let's go into this race then. I don't know if there's going to be any rain or anything involved, didn't really look at the weather indicator, so let's see just how it goes, and we'll go maximum attack for Sunday.
In 2012, America's on-again, off-again love affair with Formula 1 finally seemed to settle down with the completion of this wonderful racing facility here in Texas. Since then, we've been treated to some incredible races, including, of course, that classic wet-dry championship decider of 2015. We're racing today then in Travis County, Texas, where 20 corners and speeds of up to 200 miles an hour await us on this magnificent racetrack. It's 60% full throttle with plenty of good opportunities to pass, especially through the two DRS zones into turn 1 and at the end of the long back straight into turn 12. What a race we have in store today. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about the engineer. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
And so with that, let's have a look at the starting grid ahead of the USA Grand Prix for Season 8 of my F1 2018 Career Mode. On pole position then is the Red Bull Honda, and surprise, surprise, the front row lockout for the Red Bull Hondas of Pierre Gasly and Carlos Sainz in 1 and 2. Then comes Lewis Hamilton in P3 alongside Max Verstappen in the first Mercedes car. Hülkenberg's teammate P5 with Daniel Ricciardo, a surprising P6. Then you got all Alfa Romeo row next with Brendan Hartley P9 and Esteban Ocon P10. Fernando Alonso P11 with Sergei Sorokin alongside him. Then you got Vettel, Magnussen, Bottas and Van Dorn with a penalty that moves him down the order. Grosjean, Raikkonen next, and the last row is reserved for Sergio Perez and Lance Stroll in the Williams car ahead for the USA Grand Prix. Overcast skies at the moment, so there might be some rain in the air. Let's get into this. Right, so we moved up one free position then due to an engine penalty for, I think it was, I want to say Van Dorn, or Sorpkin, I can't remember. One of the Toro Rossos, I think, was ahead of us, but now they're not. In terms of strategy, will be a one-stop, it's looking like. Even though it's overcast, on the indicator it's saying there's no rain. We'll see about that. The game can always lie to us a little bit, but we'll try and do this one-stop, the Ultra to the soft tire, with the tire wear we've got in Season 8 career mode cars. Now, the tire wear should be good enough to do this one-stop easily onto the soft tires. So, like I said, maximum attack here. Just need to move as far forward as we can, basically, in this Grand Prix. So here we go then to 5 red lights to the USA Grand Prix. 5 lights are out and we're underway in what could be quite a crucial race for the championship, and it's a pretty slow start for me as we get bogged down and get attacked by the Ferrari and McLaren there. We go down the inside of another McLaren. Ricciardo has Hartley tried to attack us, and Leclerc has got past as well, so both of us have made one place at least. It's side by side for the 2 Mercedes cars, I think that is, of Hülkenberg and Verstappen then. I think it's 2 by 2 really in terms of the 2 Red Bull cars. Then you've got the sole Renault actually of Hamilton, then the 2 Mercs, so not quite 2 by 2 because Alonso didn't have quite a good qualifying session. To say that he was the man looking quite strong for the championship in the first 4 races of this season, how far he's fallen so far in the last few episodes in terms of the championship fight. But as we move on, then you saw myself and Leclerc chasing after that pack of the 2 Mercedes and Hamilton's Renault there in P3 down to P5. You can see there's actually some fighting there. I think the Mercedes car is trying to attack the Renault, so me and Leclerc might have an opportunity to make some overtakes here, and we do need to, because look at the mini-map there. If you see the 2 blue dots of the Red Bull Hondas, they're getting away. They've literally bolted already, so they've got so much pace here, it's ridiculous, and so it's going to be such an uphill battle to do anything more than maybe just limit the damage and try and get ahead of all 4 of these cars ahead. So we switched to nose cam for a very nice fast action shot down the inside. We dive bomb it to Leclerc. We have to make this pass. Leclerc makes it pretty easy, so maybe my teammate knew, maybe he knew that I need to get past, because he made it very, very simple for me. I thought he might have chopped me off there with how far back we came, but a very Ricciardo-esque dive bomb there to the inside, and now we can try and get on the back of Nico Hülkenberg and Verstappen. But speaking about Verstappen, he's going to go for a move and attack Hamilton. Verstappen v Hamilton in a Mercedes and Renault, so kind of like the fights we kind of want in real life, but in the game with 2 very different cars to what they are in real life at the moment here. But they jostle for position there. It's great jousting, and Verstappen gets ahead up into P3 in the Silver Arrow. Hamilton down to P4. Hulkenberg close behind. You can see there we're right up the chuff of Hulkenberg, so it's nose to tail pretty much for this fight at the moment, which is good, which means that we should have the pace to overtake these guys, because they're not getting away from us like the Red Bulls are. You can't even see their dots on the minimap. That's how far ahead the Red Bull Hondas are. So it's just going to be a real challenge for us to do anything about them. But like I said, we can maybe get these guys. If Verstappen and Hamilton continue to fight, Hulkenberg and me pretty much are in the same boat, sitting around watching this fight. And so now we have to be a bit cautious as Hulkenberg just brakes a little bit earlier. I have to nearly try and get out of that. We nearly kind of slammed into the back of him. We just make the move down the inside there. So that was very close. Could have easily been a front wing off there if I didn't realise Hulkenberg was going to brake because of the way Hamilton and Verstappen were going slow there. And we made the pass actually in a kind of a weird kind of way. I didn't really expect to make the move there, to be honest. I thought me and Hulkenberg would have to sit behind and watch Hamilton and Verstappen fight for the entire rest of the lap onto lap number 6, but instead we're here and we're making a move now on Lewis Hamilton. We're going to move to the outside here for turn 1, so it's going to be a bit of an unorthodox way to make a move into turn 1, because the guy on the inside can usually kind of squeeze you quite easily to the outside, like Hamilton tries to do, but we get good enough exit and traction on the curb, despite being on the curb, and we get up into P4 there, and we can now try and chase after Max Verstappen then, and we'll be up into a lofty P3. And unfortunately, I'm going to say that's probably the max we can hope for maybe in this Grand Prix. We'll have to see. Maybe something can happen with the safety car, but for now, we're going to chase after Verstappen, and we try from a long way back, lock up on the front left, and we're oh so close to his side pod there. That was a big chance there to make a move, and it was a bit ambitious from me, but we were gaining so much speed there. I mean, I kind of forget how good this car has been in a straight line. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes when the Red Bull's so strong in the corners and getting away like this on the minimap, but our car is still very strong, and it is still a marvellous car to drive. Probably one of the best cars. Obviously, I think it's probably in the top 3 cars I've driven in career mode over the span of F1 2018. In the top 3 probably is going to have to be the Ferrari and the Red Bull, because the Ferrari got very near towards max performance in the Red Bull the same way as well. And so, you can really feel the downforce and grip, but you forget it sometimes when you compare it to the other AI teams that are doing that much better than you. But I can definitely tell I've got good pace over Verstappen, and so it's not a worry for me of if we'll get past Verstappen. It's kind of when, because you can see into turn, into this hairpin turn, he just held me up so much there, so he's almost trying to brake check me and get away from me and get that, exit to kind of pull away, but instead, we got DRS, and this time, look how fast we're getting. This time, we're so much closer. We're going to go on the outside now, and we're going to just brake a little bit early, not to lock up there, and in mid-corner, get the speed going. And we've got a very lightweight car here to the inside for the next right. Lock up on the front right. Little bit of contact on the side pole. We'll give him some room on the left-hand side, but ultimately we'll get that position. We'll be up into P3, and so that's going to be a job done in terms of this first part of the race, really. Now we try and go to the pit stops and see what can happen in that second stint. I'm kind of begging something can maybe close up, the Red Bulls to us, because at the moment they've got a huge gap, so we're going to have to see about that. We move on to lap 10. The tyres are starting to go off. You can see I'm going mega wide there, because literally the car just doesn't have too much grip there, and you can see kind of soaring away at the steering wheel, so we're going to come in, but Verstappen, oh my god, Verstappen's made a huge dive bomb. We got side by side, we're racing into the pit lane entry, and we raced too hard. And into the pit lane, we've got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane entry there. Verstappen came in out of nowhere. That was the last thing I expected. That's the first time I've had an AI attack me into the pit lane entry, and we were literally racing side by side, tyres grazing each other into the pit lane. That was insanely awesome, but also so annoying, because we raced him so hard that I forgot to brake enough for the pit lane entry. We only just about squeezed out Hamilton there as we exit the pit lane, because he got an undercut, but oh my god, that was something else. A bit of a weird onboard camera angle from Verstappen, but there he goes, dive bombs there, and he just doesn't leave me much room. You can see there, he treated that as if I wasn't there, basically, because he basically squeezed me into the wall, and my tyre got hooked, and the car started to ghost a little bit, so that's the only way we actually survived that entire ordeal. But crazy, first time I've had an AI literally dive bomb me and race me into the pit lane. I basically have a semi-crash in the pit lane, because we did technically kind of crash a little bit, because he did kind of touch, force me to the right-hand side, so much so that the game had to ghost us a little bit, otherwise there would have been a front wing off, probably for me, thankfully, but I've now got a 5-second time penalty because I sped into the pit lane, so we're going to be in P3 still, I think, because we've maintained the position on Hamilton and Verstappen, but now I have to push like a stabbed rat to at least get 5 seconds on P4 to even make sure I can maintain this P3, so this just became a little bit harder for me, and we're going to have to trust these soft tyres can do the job and work well with our Alfa Romeo car here. And I guess a little saving grace, though, is they clearly are against Sebastian Vettel here, but that's kind of because the Vettel and the Ferrari have been so poor this season, so we're catching up to him quite rapidly. Hamilton's still kind of in the vicinity, so we need to kind of get away from him, because for now, he'll be the man maybe challenging us for that P3 with the penalty. So we go down the inside then, DRS wide open, and it's going to be a pretty easy pass there. We go a little bit deep there, first gear, trying to get the nose in, and we get up the order, P4 on the road, Sainz P3. Obviously, there's still maybe another 1 or 2 cars out there yet to pit in this Grand Prix, but Sainz is ahead of us, so that means at some point Gasly did get ahead of Carlos Sainz, because initially at the start of this Grand Prix, Sainz was leading, so Gasly, the man who's actually fighting me in the championship, surprise, surprise, is the one right to the top of the championship. So that's going to be even more unfortunate in terms of damage limitation here. So if we can maintain this P3, it will be some good damage limitation up until 10 points, basically. So we're going to lose 10 points in the championship fight, which is quite hefty, to be honest. But as we go on through this race, I was actually finding these soft tyres really nice. Found some pace, set a PB then. Next lap, set a purple, and we're going to go ahead and push even harder. And onto the next lap, we're going to set another purple time. And so the pace is actually looking pretty good. We're actually catching Carlos Sainz at a decent rate of knots. And the thing is as well, on the mini-map, there's some traffic coming up. And if Sainz gets held up enough, do I dare say we might be able to just about catch him right at the end of this Grand Prix. So, yeah, like I said, never give up in Formula 1. It's kind of a phrase I've started to say a lot of times in F1 career mode, because you just never know. F1 in real life is so unpredictable sometimes, and in the game, it's even more unpredictable because it's a game. So, anything can really happen here. So let's just see how this goes. We're going to try and get through some lap cars of Raikkonen, and we are starting to see Sainz on the mini-map there. That dot is getting closer and closer, so could we have a pop at him right at the end? I'm going to have to beg that some traffic comes up and just holds him up enough, I think. That's the only real way I will, because I'm gaining, but I'm not getting enough like that. But as we go on then, here is some traffic. Lance Stroll, you've got the other car there. I can't quite see who it is quite near yet, but let's just worry about Lance Stroll right now there. I think it's a Haas of Grosjean there. And as we're going to get past on the left-hand side of the Canadian in the Williams car, Grosjean will get out of the way, hopefully, very swiftly for us. But we go on to the last lap of the Grand Prix then, so it's maybe a little bit too late. There is Sainz, though, up the crest, just ahead of us on the hill. He's so damn close. It's going to be a bit too far for us to make a move, but look how close we got there. There's another lap car in the last sector where he might get held up even more. So if you gave me 2 more laps, I think we could have got P2 there, and that would have been a really stonking drive from what was P9 in qualifying, P8 on the grid, up to P2. Considering the circumstances, how far away Sainz was, we found some mega pace on the soft tyres here, and Sainz lacked it as we just about navigate the Force Indy car, who nearly swipes us out of this Grand Prix. So that could have been a last-minute drama DNF there, thankfully not, but Gasly's going to win the Grand Prix, unfortunately. We're going to come home in P3, so a damage limitation there. He's going to get 10 points on the championship, and that might be very crucial for the end of this season.
Great drive, great drive. We're really happy with that performance.
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Red Bull today. So, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
Well, I'd say it's just raw pace, plain and simple. I mean, we could sit here and talk about strategy all day, the overtaking, looking after the tyres, but at the end of it all, if you want to win, you need a package that's got the speed over everyone else, and that's exactly what they had today.
So we tried, and it was a noble effort, I think. Good recovery, drive to P3. It's another consistent podium, really, so I can't complain too much. But the Red Bulls were in a league of their own, in a stable of their own, being the Red Bull. But Gasly closes up to 6 points now, which is now a bit of a collar jerk moment, because 6 points is very much in the territory that we've kind of had before in season finales of career mode, whereas before 16 points sounded quite big, but now he's just wiped 10 off there. And so Mexico, next time, we're going to have to really perform and hope the Red Bull's a little bit weaker around there perhaps, and we're stronger. Constructors, it's looking less and less likely that we can try and win it with Alfa Romeo Racing, but of course, really the main thing I care about is the Drivers' Championship. If we can win that, you know, especially after the way Season 7 ended against Gasly, to be battling Gasly again in the same kind of conditions, basically, just with a rebranded Alfa Romeo Racing team, it's going to mean a heck of a lot more. So we've got a lot of work to do, and it's going to be a few crucial rounds left. If you guys enjoyed this episode, then be sure to hit that like button. Let me know your thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, you can subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content. I've been Alfa. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.